The world we perceive is only part of a larger, invisible reality. C.S. Lewis, in his explorations of the spiritual realm, reminds us that there is much more to our existence than what we can see. He emphasizes that the forces of good and evil are constantly at work, influencing both the physical and spiritual dimensions of our lives. This understanding is essential to recognize when we are being attacked by witchcraft or other dark forces, which often act in subtle and deceptive ways. Subscribe to the channel and leave your like, it's free. These influences can invade our thoughts, emotions, and circumstances without us immediately realizing it. Often, these attacks can seem like just another ordinary life struggle, such as an unexplained wave of anxiety, the sudden breakdown of relationships, or a series of misfortunes that seem strangely connected. However, upon closer inspection, these occurrences often reveal patterns that suggest a deeper, darker cause. Lewis's work, especially the Screwtape Letters, offers insights into how evil forces work subtly, leading people to despair and confusion. One of the main strategies of these forces is to remain unnoticed, allowing their influence to grow unchecked. For example, the story of a young professional woman who suddenly found herself overcome by doubts about her previously booming career. Without a clear explanation, her life began to stagnate, her relationships became strained, and she felt a general sense of unease. While these symptoms could be attributed to stress or external pressures, the persistence and connection between the difficulties suggests that this could be a spiritual attack. This is the nature of witchcraft and similar influences, which work in the shadows, magnifying our vulnerabilities until we become consumed. Another clear sign of such attacks is the emotional turmoil they provoke. Negative thoughts can spiral out of control, leading to feelings of worthlessness, anger, or fear. These emotions do not arise randomly, but are often the result of targeted interference designed to weaken our willpower and distance us from sources of light and hope. Lewis's depiction of spiritual warfare highlights how the enemy exploits our weakest moments, whether by sowing doubts about our faith or amplifying our insecurities. The goal of these forces is to create division and isolation. In addition to the physical manifestations, these spiritual attacks may be accompanied by chronic fatigue, unexplained illness, or sudden drops in energy levels. While it is essential to treat these symptoms with a holistic approach, seeking medical help when necessary, we must also be open to the possibility that these issues have spiritual causes. In many cases, the intersection between the physical and spiritual realms becomes clear when traditional solutions fail to provide relief. A crucial aspect of understanding these attacks is recognizing the impact they have on our spiritual practice. Individuals under their influence may find it increasingly difficult to pray, read scripture, or engage in faith-related activities. Spiritual lethargy is often accompanied by a sense of futility or disconnection, making it difficult to seek a deeper connection with the divine. As if his efforts were futile, C.S. Lewis warns that these feelings are not mere coincidences, but rather intentional attempts by dark forces to undermine our connection with God and weaken our spiritual protection. The importance of community support is undeniable in the face of these challenges. Isolation, often used as a weapon by these malevolent forces, seeks to create divisions between individuals and their support networks, whether through failures in communication with loved ones or by increasing feelings of exclusion. These strategies aim to leave people more vulnerable and defenseless. Being surrounded by a solid and trustworthy community of faith can become a key piece in facing these difficulties, offering strength and encouragement in particularly difficult times. The invisible forces around us are real and exert significant influence. Recognizing them requires a combination of spiritual discernment, critical thinking, and courage to face the uncomfortable reality that many battles transcend the physical and emotional plane. Understanding the subtle and pervasive nature of these attacks is the first step toward taking steps to protect ourselves and help us regain inner peace. C.S. Lewis's wisdom offers us not only a warning but also guidance, reminding us that even in the darkest moments, the light of truth and faith is always within reach. C.S. Lewis, in his analysis of spiritual warfare, emphasizes the need to identify the tactics employed by evil forces that seek to destabilize our lives and lead us away from truth and purpose. These strategies include instigating doubt, encouraging isolation, weakening emotional bonds, increasing feelings of alienation, manipulating negative emotions, distorting perceptions of reality, and interrupting the practice of faith. Identifying these 7 signs can help us recognize spiritual attacks and respond wisely and decisively. These forces operate with extreme cunning, often masking their true intentions under a veneer of normalcy. This subtle aspect of deception makes it all the more dangerous, as it silently penetrates people's thoughts and lives. This type of spiritual attack often begins with a distortion of reality, causing someone to begin to question truths that were previously unquestionable. C.S. Lewis illustrates this process in the Screwtape Letters, where a demonic character suggests ways to manipulate human thoughts, promoting confusion and disorientation. For example, a person who previously found comfort and clarity in his or her faith may gradually begin to feel that it is irrelevant or false. These doubts do not arise suddenly, they are the result of small, consistent influences that lead the individual into a state of uncertainty. The danger of deception lies in its subtlety. It does not present itself overtly, but rather emerges as doubts, confusion, or even intellectual curiosity. For example, someone may begin to question their worth or purpose, attributing these thoughts to their own nature, without realizing that they may be the result of external interference. Over time, these doubts can evolve into destructive narratives, undermining a person's confidence and faith. Lewis warns that once these ideas take root, they can grow out of control, creating a cycle of negativity that is difficult to break. Deception can also extend beyond thoughts and beliefs, manifesting itself in relationships and environments. Someone may unwittingly surround themselves with influences that seem harmless but that gradually pull them away from their values and goals. The cycle begins with a slight shift in perception, followed by constant doubt, isolation, clinging to toxic influences, abandonment of faith practices, loss of purpose, and, finally, a profound sense of disorientation. Recognizing these signs is essential to protecting yourself from the attacks of deception and regaining clarity and inner peace. Unhealthy friendships, excessive media consumption, or unhealthy habits may seem insignificant at first glance, but over time they form patterns that weaken our spirituality and make us more vulnerable. C.S. Lewis points out that the enemy often uses what we value or enjoy as tools to deceive us, turning seemingly harmless pleasures into distractions or temptations. A critical aspect of this deception is the creation of false narratives, which can alter how we view ourselves, others, and even God. People under spiritual attack may begin to believe lies such as "I'm not good enough," "no one cares about me," or "God has abandoned me." These thoughts, once planted, become self-fulfilling prophecies, influencing behaviors and decisions in ways that reinforce the deception. For example, someone who believes they are unlovable may isolate themselves, pushing those around them away and intensifying their feelings of loneliness. Deception is not limited to what we think, it also impacts our relationships and environments. Influences that seem harmless can gradually lead us away from our values and goals. Furthermore, spiritual attack can distort our perception of truth, especially in a world where information is abundant but discernment is rare. Manipulating scripture, misusing religious teachings, or presenting false spiritualities are examples of how truth can be distorted. Lewis emphasizes the need for solid faith and understanding to discern truth from falsehood. Without this foundation, people are more susceptible to appealing but empty philosophies. To combat deception, vigilance and self-awareness are essential. Recognizing patterns of spiritual attack requires both a clear mind and a humble heart willing to seek guidance. Practices such as prayer, meditation, and scripture study are vital tools for maintaining spiritual clarity. They expose lies and reaffirm truth, acting as a mirror to our soul. In addition, surrounding ourselves with trusted mentors, friends, or spiritual leaders strengthens our resilience. Lewis also highlights the power of gratitude as a shield against deception. When we focus on our blessings, lies lose their power, and our connection to the divine becomes stronger. Another sign of spiritual warfare is an overwhelming and inexplicable emotional burden. C.S. Lewis describes how dark forces attempt to destabilize our mental and emotional health, trapping us in cycles of despair and confusion. These attacks often begin with seemingly ordinary sadness or anxiety, but they escalate to the point where they undermine our joy and balance. This emotional burden can manifest as overwhelming fear, feelings of unworthiness, or isolation, even when surrounded by people who care. This can lead to depression, apathy, and difficulty maintaining routines or even praying. Physical symptoms, such as constant fatigue, insomnia, and restlessness, often accompany this emotional turmoil, contributing to the person's burnout. Lewis points out that confusion and lack of clarity are also powerful weapons of these forces, making it difficult to make decisions and perceive the truth. In this state, small problems seem insurmountable, and past mistakes seem unforgivable, reinforcing the cycle of despair and loneliness. To combat emotional overwhelm, it is crucial to turn to prayer, which invites divine intervention and reminds us that we are not alone. Reading Scripture provides clarity and reassurance, countering lies with unshakable truths. Community also plays a vital role, as friends, family, and support groups help dispel isolation. Acts of gratitude and service are powerful strategies against negativity. Focusing on blessings fosters hope and resilience, while helping others reconnects us with purpose and meaning. Ultimately, resisting these attacks requires perseverance, faith, and the support of a strong community. C.S. Lewis reminds us that while these battles are challenging, they are not insurmountable. Through truth, prayer, and a commitment to the light, we can overcome the darkness and reclaim the peace and joy that are ours. Remember, spiritual battles can be challenging, but we are never alone on this journey. Strengthen your faith, surround yourself with a supportive community, and seek the truth in all circumstances. If this topic resonated with you, subscribe to the channel for more reflections and tools to strengthen your spirituality. Share this content with someone you believe needs to hear this message, and together, we will grow in faith and light.